with Just the Right Angle, coming at you live at 9:05 p.m. on November 23rd of 2025. Give an update on main political event that's coming on. Of course, you can follow me at Just the Right Angle on Rumble, at KPR Arkansas Legal YouTube. My Twitter account's Kenny_NLR. Also, I'm on Facebook. So the big issue that's happened recently is the resignation of Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is resigning from the United States Congress. This is her current website. I'm not going to read through the whole thing. Just kind of an intro of who she is, better known as MTG, is a businesswoman, mother Christian, a member of Congress of Georgia's 14th Congressional District. And she is very popular in the media. She actually made a lot of money before running for Congress. She was in a construction company that managed $250 million in construction projects. And so her resignation comes on the heels of a lot of drama that's been going on with the Trump administration regarding many issues such as the Epstein files, funding regarding foreign wars. And there's been issues between, well, I would say the conservative MAGA movement and Donald Trump and the administration. So I'll play part of her resignation video that she did. This is from Red Pill USA Patriots that did this. Marjorie Taylor Greene does have her own Rumble account, but I couldn't see the video on theirs, but it was available on this account and a few others. So let me play it.
And I've never voted to fund foreign wars with your hard-earned tax dollars. However, with almost 1 year into our majority, the legislature has been mostly sidelined. We endured an 8-week shutdown, wrongly, resulting in the House not working for the entire time. And we are entering campaign season, which means all courage leaves and only safe campaign re-election mode is turned on in the House of Representatives. During the longest shutdown in our nation's history, I raged against my own speaker and my own party for refusing to proactively work diligently to pass a plan to save Americans' health care and protect Americans from outrageous, overpriced, and unaffordable health insurance policies.
So that's part of her speech. I'm talking about her resignation. It's about 10 minutes long. I'll post a link for people that want to listen to the whole thing in the chat. But she gives her overall reasons for why she is resigning. Her resignation is effective January 5th, which is a few days after she's eligible for a pension. A lot of people have wondered this is mainly over financial issues. Most people by now know that she does get a pension. It's over a course of a lifetime, it would be about $250,000. Most members of Congress also reach a similar pension, depending on certain attributes. This is by National Taxpayers Union Foundation. And of course, she gives her 1,829 days of service, 5 years and 3 days, just enough to beat the eligibility threshold. Now, of course, like I said, many members of Congress have been there for a long time, and so they get a pension as well. And most people have also found out that she's worth close to about $25 million. That she's increased her net worth since she joined Congress. Although a lot of it is from publicity. She's done book deals. Matter of fact, this is one of her books right here. It's simply Marjorie Taylor Greene, MTG. Actually has some notable quotes on the back. One of the things she likes, most people like to put endorsements or comments from people who like them on the back of their book. Marjorie Taylor Greene actually did something different. What she did is put quotes from people that didn't like her. This one said, "This woman should be on a watch list, not in Congress." It's by Hillary Clinton. "She must be expelled." Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. "MTG is a cause for trauma and fear among members of Congress." Nancy Pelosi. "Marjorie Taylor Greene makes clear yet again she cannot be trusted." This is by Liz Cheney. And of course, another one, "This woman gets to come and talk about taking over the country and she's not behind bars. How does that work?" by Whoopi Goldberg. Of course, if you know those names, you know that those are people that are loathed by the conservative movement. So again, it's very brilliant on her part to kind of show that she's hated by the left. And in regards to her net worth, some people have claimed that she's gone into insider trading, which a lot of members of Congress have done. However, there hasn't been any official charges against her regarding that. And to put that into some perspective, Nancy Pelosi, who announced earlier that she's going to retire in 2027, as she was the Speaker of the House, she is, according to this website here, Investopedia, she is worth over $278 million. So that does really put things into perspective as to how much money is being made by members of Congress, how much money people could make in Congress. And so a lot of people have kind of speculated about what she plans to do. Time Magazine has claimed that she was going to run for president. And here is this. This is on actually Marjorie Taylor Greene's own Twitter page. Times claims sources told them I'm running for president in 2028, which means this is a complete lie, and they made it up because they can't even quote the names of the people who they claim said it. That's not journalism, it's called lying. I'm not running for president, never said I wanted to, and I've only laughed about it when anyone would mention it. So that's from her page, call it what you will. I don't know. She goes through a long list of other things to talk about. And one of the things that she mentioned in her speech was this thing called the political industrial complex. And she mentioned it before. And it sounds similar to a phrase used by Eisenhower, who talked about the military industrial complex. And that's something I want to get to in another video. But in short, she seems like she's more or less feels like she's not able to really be effective in terms of the conservative effort that she is wanting to push. And so, what exactly she's going to do after resigning? Is she going to possibly run for another office? Is she going to become kind of a conservative speaker, or someone in that fashion? It's not quite clear. She hasn't said what exactly she's doing afterwards. But there is a political industrial complex that's out there. If you follow me, you know that I have been fighting against something similar. I've talked about it as before. This is an article written not too long after resignation. It's a political. It talks a little bit about this. Actually, it was written a few days beforehand. It's by Steve Wendelin, Commander Stephen Wendelin, USN retired, and it's actually a Democrat. But he does talk a little bit about this. He mentions here's Eisenhower's military-industrial complex, the dangerous fusion of money, lobbyists, contractors, and unelected influence. But few people remember the other warning he gave that night, that in a democracy, we must guard against the concentration of political power in the hands of a growing professional class operating outside public accountability. Now, a lot of this part of this article is wrong in of itself, in that we are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. This is written by a Democrat. But this guy does describe in detail a political industrial complex. Now, of course, if you are against this kind of political complex, you need to leave the Democrat Party as soon as possible, because they're owned and operated by this completely. And sadly, the Republican Party, for a large part, is also controlled by these type of people, oftentimes by the same organizations. And here in Arkansas, we have a few major companies, Walmart, Tyson Foods, and a few others that oftentimes have political action committees, or PACs, that donate and fund both campaigns or both sides. And there really isn't that much of a choice when you go back and go through some of the money long enough. So I'm going to post this article as well so people can read this. But Marjorie Taylor Greene and some others are probably going to be talking about this a little more. Another person that's in the crosshairs of Donald Trump is Thomas Massie. He is a representative from Kentucky. And there is likely millions of dollars that are going to be spent to primary him. There was supposedly millions of dollars that were going to be spent to primary Marjorie Taylor Greene, but there wasn't an official candidate. And so whether or not that's who's going to replace her is still kind of up in the air. But this is the other guy that's probably going to be more focused on now, Thomas Massie, U.S. Representative for Kentucky, District 4. He has been more of a libertarian type, and he hasn't been as, I guess, outspoken as Marjorie Taylor Greene, but he has disagreed with Trump on some issues, particularly funding with regarding Israel. This is another issue that's come up, and it has an Arkansas connection. Marjorie Taylor Greene has also mentioned this. There was a guy named Jonathan J. Pollard who was a spy for the nation of Israel. He stole lots of secrets and served 30 years in prison for it. He was released, and he recently met with former Arkansas governor and now ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee. And a lot of conservatives are a little irritated about this particular issue, why this criminal is is being treated so well. So, folks, I'm going to stop this right now and take a little break. I'll do another broadcast later on, talk about this and other issues.